Basically, I'm the designer for this building, and the idea behind it, and it's basically a passive house that we prefabricate in a factory, bring to the site, erect it, and so we have a very high quality control, less construction time, and at the end a better product. So it's all energy efficient. It's all electric, but there's enough area for solar that will actually produce enough energy to feed for the house. And so it's a really simple way of building. And we do this in Europe all the time, so we're building entire multi-family homes like that. So that in your wall, this is basically your wall system here. Everything is already included, so the electric pipe or the con to it is included, so all you have to do is just run the wires, but everything is already in it. This is the exterior, so it has an airflow in between, so it doesn't heat up your wall, so we put an air space in between. And then this is the floor, this is the structure basically, and then this is the part that we put on later, where we run the in-floor heating, and again the cons for electric and so on and so on. And on the outside it could be either wood or fiber cement or stucco, whatever people really like to do. But it is a proven system, so, and it's, when you look at it, it's really, look at this, it's basically a modular system that has all the same size modules. So they're all the same width, height, they're all the same. And so let's say you want a 60 feet long house, then you just use whatever, 6 of them or 10 of them. If you want a longer house, you just basically extend it. So, and then on the center core you have the bathrooms and all those on the kitchen, so they're in the center, and they're also part of the structure, so which helps with the shear. And then the outside you also have the shears.
Is this something that can be stacked one on top of the other as well for a multi-level?
Yes, you can. I think you can go up to like 4 stories. So this is just it's one way of doing it, and it's all glass all the way around it, and it has a space in between, so the glass does not get heated up by the sun, and it's really. That's why it works.
And this can work in any environment.
Well, it has to be adapted. If you build in Minnesota, you have to basically calculate. That's where he would come in. He's the expert in doing this. That basically either you have more insulation, or depending on the climate zone that you're building. But it doesn't matter because it's all. Basically, what we do is we, as the designer, we design it, we give it to the manufacturer. The manufacturer, at the end of the day, is basically going to turn it into a computer program that goes to a CNC machine, and then it cuts it out and produces it. So it doesn't matter if this is whatever, 20 centimeters or 30 or 40, whatever you tell the machine, that's what they will do. Yeah, I think the interest is here. We just have not, this is the first time we're introducing this. Hopefully we can find somebody that actually do it. That's what we're doing right now.
I think it's a neat idea. We've also seen people retrofitting old shipping containers into homes, and a lot of European firms have done that. Beautiful designs. Yeah. So this is another. It kind of reminds me of that as well. That's beautiful.
I'm a business development manager for Synoptics. Synoptics is a 32-year-old company that is a prismatic daylight manufacturer. Our units, of course, are comprised of skylight units intended to reduce energy consumption and save energy in multiple types of facilities. This is a unit that is considered our signature series, and the signature series unit comes in several different types of sizes, and is predominantly the type of product that is used in big box or retail, warehouse, logistics, distribution. In fact, we're the sole supplier to Walmart, worldwide, Best Buy, Home Depot, and of course other retail establishments, and help save them energy and improve lighting from a sales standpoint and of course energy standpoint.
So a lot of your business currently has been in kind of large scale, I guess, companies like Walmart or maybe shipping facilities and things like that?
Correct. It would be either logistics or retail, distribution, manufacturing, educational. It could be military as well. That's where we focus a great deal of our efforts.
Gotcha. Have you seen, I don't know if you have this off the top of your head, but do you know like a before and after cost, for example, for a facility that used to have regular lights and now they switched to your system? How much did they save by switching to a Sunoptics?
Well, of course, that depends upon the specific environments.
Right.
What I can tell you is, from Walmart's standpoint, we helped save approximately 200. We're part of their lighting design. Being a part of their lighting design, we helped save about $240 million annually. I should say Walmart saves $240 million annually, incorporating our product into their lighting design. Of course, they're utilizing other components and products in that lighting design. We're part of that aspect too.
Have you guys thought about doing anything like this for residential?
We do have a small group of products that work residential, but a very small group, and maybe 1 or 2% of our overall business. So.
And as far as retrofitting goes, do you know if companies can get some kind of government rebates or something like that for doing a retrofit for systems like this?
Well, there certainly are rebates available either through a power supply company or when they upgrade and retrofit an existing facility with lighting. EPACT certainly takes its place, and energy savings can be computed there. We all know about the 60 cents a square foot tax deduction, so we're all part of that as well. And that helps. As long as we're turning off lights and saving energy, that's where those funds take place.
All right, thanks.
I'm with Riverbend Nursery. We're the local distributor for Live Roof. Live Roof is a group of distributors across the United States, 20 in total, 4 in Canada, 1 in Mexico, and 1 in Dubai. We all provide these fully vegetated green roof systems for our consumers to put on their roof to be more sustainable, for stormwater benefits, for the trans-evaporative effects that cool the roof, and to extend the roof life of their building. Our shift in our design in the industry really came about because of 2 design features. We have these soil elevators and moisture portals that were incorporated into our design to allow us to be one ecosystem on the roof deck. Where we saw some issues in the design of other modular systems, it always came about because of that disconnect where you had trays on a roof that were insular ecosystems and they were all trying to fight for their own moisture and nutrients. They could never share them. So when we came to market, we looked at the design and said, okay, let's take that out of the equation, let's make it one ecosystem. These soil elevators are removed at the time of install, which allows for those roots to grow together, allows for that one ecosystem to occur. That happens within a month. You'll have those roots tying the trays together. Within a week, you won't see any lines on the roof.
So it's so simple and it does the job so well.
Absolutely, and one of the fastest installs in the industry. We have, our install times are about 7 people can install 6,000 square feet in a day. That's roughly where our install times are. So in one day, 6,000 square feet can go up. It's 95% vegetated day 1 guaranteed. You have an instant green roof that's instantly healthy. We spend an exorbitant amount of time growing these. 8 to 16 weeks on average is our grow time. And taking that much care in your green roof beforehand allows us to have the lowest maintenance on the market.
As far as maintenance, what are we talking about? How frequently do people have to go up on their roof to change something or check on something?
Well, we've required that you cut and fertilize this once a year in the spring. The reason being, if you allow for that growth to stay there, you're going to get these seed heads that sit up above. They get very dry. They could be an issue with those. You want to get those out of the way. Also, when you cut it, the cuttings go into the field. They either take root or they die off. If they die off, they're feeding the system. So that allows it to be a little healthier. Also, if you haven't had water, it's been 75 degrees or above, and you haven't had a soaking rain in a month, you need to water it. So worst case scenario, you have to water it 5-6 times a year if you haven't had rain all year round, which most likely is not going to be the case. Outside of that, we recommend that you weed it maybe 10 minutes a month, 10-15 minutes, take a walk, make sure you don't have trees in the system, and that's really what we're more concerned about. Our design of the medium mix itself has very, very low organic content. We're at 7% organic content when we level out. That means that we're really trying to keep the weeds from establishing. Weeds like high organic content. The higher the organic content you have in the mix, the more weeding you have to do. Since our design is very low, we minimize the amount of weeding that you actually have to do in your ground.
Would you say that your system is something that would be ideal for, I guess, looking at the pictures, it seems like flat roofs are beneficial, but for residential applications, is this something that you could put on a slanted roof?
Absolutely. We can do up to a 412 pitch.
Okay.
It's very, we can do more, but we've found that after a 412 pitch, the top becomes very dry, the bottom becomes very wet. The bottom has all the nutrients, the top has none. So you really, it's a balance of plant life versus structural and wind uplift, and that's where we cap it off.
And one last question regarding financial incentives. People that retrofit their roofs with something like this, do they get any rebates through the government, or?
It really all depends on the locality.
But you've seen that before.
Absolutely. Several localities offer stormwater tax benefits. There's federal funds for it. There's nonprofits for it. You really have to look at your locality for those. Some can be as much as $7 to $10 a square foot in total tax incentives to put in a green roof. So you need to do your homework for the area that you're installing them, and you could almost pay for your green roof.
So what would the typical cost be for something like this? You guys sell them per...
Green roofs, the industry, it could be $9 a square foot. It could be $40 a square foot installed. There's a lot of construction parameters that you have to look at. The more cutting you do in these to make shapes and different textures, the types of plants that you put in, accents, where it is, if you've got to bring in a crane or if you have to bring in a helicopter. You know, all those kind of things really dictate where your price is.